going to keep you safe overnight tonight. We have no warnings in the viewing area, but we're just wanting to say, hey, come on in, hang with us tonight. We're going to get you through the storms that are moving through. We do have thunderstorms that are passing by. You see Ryan and Brian on standby. Tawana's coming in just a bit. She'll be out in the Wave 3 News Storm Tracker. It's already on the roads, in fact. We had a report of a lightning strike to a home. It went there, couldn't find anything. Police, fire, they had all left the scene. That was over in J-Town. That's come and gone. The Wave 3 News Storm Tracker is out on the roads. The roads are wet because of the rain that you see pushing through the area with thunderstorms that continue. We have wet roads, and that's about it for now, but we're not finished. In fact, we haven't even really started with the storms that will be moving through. We're going to sort of ping pong around to the entire team here coming up in just a second, because as I take a wider view, you can see the thunderstorms and the warnings, both severe thunderstorm to our north and tornado warnings out to our west. Yeah, this is the real deal. It's an outbreak. It's been going on all evening. And as I zoom the radar out, I want to point out that while we have no warnings here, they're knocking on our door. And we've seen these storms push across parts of northeast Arkansas, western parts of Tennessee, West Kentucky, and now they're making their way closer to central Kentucky. These storms have produced and are still producing tornadoes that are on the ground. We've had damage, major damage in some of these areas across the entire region. Once again, no warnings right now, but as we take a closer view, the thunderstorm warnings that sit just to the north of us include Greene, Martin, Monroe, and Owen counties of Indiana. Again, radar indicated the threat's considerable. Strong winds with all of these storms that are pushing through the area tonight. And again, the tornado warning sitting just across parts of Ohio County for us. That will continue to move closer to parts of Breckenridge and Grayson counties within the next half hour. These storms are moving fast, generally at about 45 to 55 miles per hour. So let's just sort of give you a recap of what has happened tonight. Ryan Hoke's been here since noon today. Brian Good was here very early, and then a little bit of sleep and back in here. And we're all here for the overnight hours tonight. Again, for the next 5, 6, 7 hours, we're just going to sort of digest the data with you so you can see what's happening. So there's no reason to turn away. We'll be here if you take a nap and wake back up. Set the alarm if the storms approach and your phones wake you up or the weather radio wakes you up. Just turn us on. We're going to be here to keep you updated. Again, Brian Good, let's swing over. The closest threat to us would be the tornado warnings that we're watching back down across Ohio and Edmonson counties.
Yeah, that's one that's been on the ground, of course, for a while that we've been tracking. That has been a long-lasting one, tracking to the northeast. That's also a good sign there that it is, of course, likely going to be able to at least take advantage of the environment. Now, what we normally would say is, okay, wait a minute, we had thunderstorms into Meade County and Hardin County into Blood, and even here in Louisville. Will that disrupt it? And this kind of scenario, there looks to be just enough of a gap here. It likely will keep on going on northeast tracking. Some of the most high-res data we've been looking at today has been hinting, in fact, that that would indeed be the case, that this type of setup that would feature one that would keep going for a longer time across areas of, say, very close to the Ohio River. What you're looking at here is rotation markers we can track, and they don't last very long. They only last with the actual storm itself. We saw we had that one storm that started to rotate as it got close to Louisville, and of course that led to the warning getting issued as it got closer into the metro area on the southern side there. And this is the one that really stands out, but notice the motion here to the north and east, so just north of Butler County. And then if we see how this plays out for Breckenridge and into portions there of Meade as we head to the next, I would say, 1 hour, especially. These things are moving pretty fast here. That's going to be obviously the saving grace is they're moving fast, but at the same time, they can also produce a tremendous amount of wind. What we're really going to really struggle with a bit here tonight as far as information is we don't have really high population areas in this particular zone, Kevin. So storm reports are a bit tougher to get in that area of Kentucky, Breckenridge County, Meade County, southern areas of Crawford, and into Harrison County. So we have to rely not only on the radar data, but our emergency managers. They do a great job, but usually we don't get notified of anything as far as damage until 911 calls are made, wherever the case may be. So sometimes those reports are delayed. So that's the reason why in Louisville, even if we see a change in the warning status as that cell moves northeast, just be alert that if we get information suddenly about what has happened to our southwest, that could still affect us even here in the Louisville metro. We see this quite often. Let's hope that it ends up falling apart. But just kind of give you an idea of our process, if you will, of how we're going to get through this over the next hour, especially.
Yeah, and when you look at some of the storms that are on the radar, some of them have been on there all night long. I mean, this one supercell that we've been tracking back out to our west. Brian, make sure I'm in play mode, will you? As we take a closer look at that storm back out across the central part of Kentucky, that's where we've had this storm on the ground all the way through the overnight hours. So it started in parts of Arkansas near Jonesboro, continues to make its way closer to us. Let me zoom back out. This is the video. Again, apartment complex here. We saw this at 11 o'clock. And Ryan, I want to bring you in because you've been keeping an eye on the damage that's been falling across parts of Arkansas, western Kentucky. I was just sent a picture from the courthouse in Mayfield, Kentucky. Again, this may not translate very well on TV, but I'm going to try. Yeah, tough to see, but that's the courthouse that has been pretty much demolished in Mayfield, Kentucky. So back out to the western parts of Kentucky. That's not the only damage we've had. Ryan, when we were talking just before the 11 o'clock show, we have had 2 fatalities in parts of Arkansas.
Yeah, Monette, Arkansas is what we're talking about there. If we can take Max 3 full, I know that might be a tall order here, but get to it when you can. We'll
Matanzas,
all
Centertown,
of the tornado
get ready.
reports that you see at this point. Northeast Arkansas there, Monette, is where we saw that tornado rip through a mobile home community there. And that mobile home community, or not mobile home, I should say, is a nursing home. That's where 5 people were injured. 2 are dead from that tornado. And that's one of just very many tornadoes that we've had overnight tonight so far. This is a real live tornado outbreak in the middle of December, affecting parts of the Mississippi River Valley and now into the lower Ohio Valley. Our concern continues to elevate overnight. And Kevin, what just hit my phone here was a notification for folks to watch the severe weather live stream that we're putting on here all night long on the Wave 3 News weather app, the Wave 3 News app, Facebook Live, and of course our streaming channels, our TV apps, if you will.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere tonight. We'll be here to keep you updated as we roll throughout the next several hours. Folks will be waking up. This doesn't guarantee severe weather in your backyard. Doesn't guarantee we're going to have tornadoes even in the viewing area. But what it does guarantee is that we want to make sure in this season where people are coming home from holiday parties, they're looking to an overnight in the middle of December, and they think, man, there's no chance of severe weather like that. That never happens. It's rare. It does happen on occasion. Hasn't happened in a while. But the fact is, because of its rarity, we want to make sure we have a place for you to turn to, and that's going to be right here. So let me just zoom out. I'm going to go back to our camera view. We're going to take it home here. As we go back to the home view, you're going to notice we do have the now we have the tornado warning, and this is coming out from Breckinridge County. So here we go, right on time. Boy, we couldn't have pegged this any closer. This is now a tornado warning for Breckinridge, Grayson, and Hancock counties. It includes Hardinsburg, Irvington, and Patesville. This is an observed tornado. It's on the ground. Okay, this is the same tornado that we've been tracking from Arkansas. Took down the nursing home. It's the same tornado that went through Mayfield that ripped the roof off of and did considerable damage to the, and you're looking at the nursing home. And this is over in northeast Arkansas. Emergency crews are on the scene. Notice the roof completely peeled off. This is a serious situation that is devastating. So back to the radar we go. And I'll point out that this is the same storm that's moving through. Again, the source, it's observed. It's not radar indicated. Obviously, we can see it on the radar, but the reason the warning is out is because it's been noted. The threat is considerable. Affected by this, over 7,000 people within just Breckinridge County alone. All right, now I'm going to go back to the wider view. Again, Breckinridge County, you have time. This is the time to prepare. You've got to get to the lowest level, away from windows. Now's a great time to take those tornado precautions. Breckinridge County, you need to be in your tornado safe place. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go to the radar, take the lightning off so we can see the storm a little better. And as we zoom back in to that whole complex of storms to the south, what you're going to notice will be the intense velocity in this storm. I'm going to zoom in pretty tight. Again, this part of the storm is outside of the viewing area. This is in McLean and Muhlenberg County. As we take our tools and look at the velocity, we can do that a number of ways. I'm going to do it with the scope. You're going to see the very sharp I mean, just north of Central City, Sacramento, Kentucky. This is where we're talking about. This is right along US 431. That's the intersection. This is where we have the tornado that's on.